Yo, what's up ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ndifon Ntui. On this channel I make sewing tutorials. I post new videos on Monday, Wednesday and on Saturdays. If you like what I do here, make sure to give my videos a like. If you have not subscribed already, like 44% of you haven't, make sure to do so. Alright, if you are a beginner or if you're a person to brush up on your skills, I offer online courses. I'll be showing a demo on how to make a jumpsuit for you to watch, so you decide if learning online will be convenient for you. Alright, so thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. I will see you on the next video, but first enjoy this video. Bye bye. Alright, so you're welcome to this video. Now this video is the first part of a two-part video that of a two-piece video that I'm going to make concerning how to go about cutting and sewing this corset top. If I want to both cut and sew, I'm going to try to minimize the time that I take to explain one part, and I don't want it to seem a bit half done or rushed, because a lot of you have been complaining that I'm always a bit too fast in my videos. So let's slow this down. This is the first part. This part is going to be how to go about drafting it, and in the next part we're going to go about how to sew it. So to begin, I have my pattern paper here. I'm going to come from the top. Okay, I'm going to come from the top and I'm going to make a mark at 7 inches. Okay, so simply make a mark at 7 inches and roll a line across this point. Alright, when you've done this, the next thing that we are going to do is you're going to place your bust point on this line. So whatever the distance is from your shoulder to your nipple, place it there. So for me, my under bust length -4, because that's how I prefer to find my bust points for people, especially people with this bust size. My under bust length -4 is 10 inches. So I'm going to place 10 inches here. So you take your under bust length, you subtract 4 from it, whatever number you get, you place it on this line that we just rolled. Then after this, you're going to place your under bust length. You see, you keep 10 on this line. I'm going to mark my under bust length at 14. All right, and then I'm going to mark my shoulder to the belly button. That's my shoulder to my waist. That is around 19.5. Let's call it 20. And we're going to also stop here. So after this, I want you to rule lines across this point. Alright, then place all the measurements across. So this point here is where we place the bust point. So we place the bust measurement divided by 4 on that line. So the bust measurement is 35. 35 divided by 4 is 8.75. So I'm going to place 8.75 right here. Okay, and after you do that, you're going to place your under bust round on your under bust length. So this is where you place your under bust length. You place your under bust round there. Your under bust, the under bust round I'm working with is 28. 28 divided by 4, 7.5. Okay, and here you're going to place your waist measurement. So the circumference around your belly button area, I'm going to place that here. So the waist I'm working with is 30. 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. And then connect all the lines you have here together. Right, now we've gotten the bottom part of the basic block together. Alright, so after all that has been done, the next thing is, as you've seen on the title, I'm using bra cups for this project. Now what I like to do when I'm using bra cups is that I like to use bra cups that are one size bigger than the bust I'm working with, so that it adds a little bit of coverage. So the bust I'm working with is 35-inch bust. So I'm using a 36-inch bra cup just for a little coverage, especially at the top part of the bust where it's needed the most of the time. So now to place this, what you are going to do, you don't need a lot of space between the bust. I'm going to simply come out by ½ an inch and make a mark, ½ an inch away from the edge and make a mark. And I'm going to place the edge of my bra cup over here. You see that? Over here. And I'm going to try to align it on this other part here as well. Make sure you lay it flat, make a mark, and then simply mark around the bra cup. You see that with that we have created the space that the bra cup is going to sit into nice and easy. What you're going to do next is you're going to add ½ inch of allowance here, ½ inch of allowance here as well for sewing. Now when you're transferring this to your fabric, you will see me add ½ inch everywhere around the curve. So let me write it so that I don't forget, half an inch. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to tackle the V that sits in front. So on the measurements, I have two lengths for my top length. I have 20 inches by 20 inches slash 25. So the 25 is the length of the front. Now, so that we don't make a mistake, you're going to keep your underbust length on your underbust length as 14 on 14 and mark your top length. Okay, so I'm going to really make a mark as my top length, and then okay. And now, because of this is not very complex when it comes to the cut, I'm going to simply add 1 inch of allowance on every side. Alright, so now you can see we have a straight edge here, and we still have some of the markings from the front, so we're going to use them. We're going to simply extend here all the way across. Next thing we're going to do is do the same thing, place all your measurements. So before we place our measurements, the next thing I'm going to do after reading the lines is to keep my zipper allowance. So I'm keeping 2 inches for the zipper allowance. Then place all your measurements across. So the bust 8.75, under bust round 7 inches, then the waist area is 7.5, and then connect your lines together. So I'm going to keep here to be exactly the same. If you want your V to be at the back, you can also extend the length and open it up to that part of the back, but I want my back to stay flush. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add ½ inch of allowance across here so that it matches with the front. Add ½ inch allowance at the bottom as well. Now the next thing I'm going to do is place a dart. I need a dart at the back so that it helps us to shape the back a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come to 4 inches away from the zipper allowance and make a mark. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come 2 inches after my underbust length, and I'm going to make a mark. Alright, and then on that line I'm going to mark ½ inch on both sides. So ½ inch here and ½ inch here. Then I'm going to open from nothing to here, close up, open from nothing to here and close up. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add, I took out 1 inch from here, I'm going to add 1 inch here, I'm going to add 1 inch here, and then I'm going to connect here to here to here, and then come down. Then I'm going to keep my regular allowance that I kept in the front of only 1 inch everywhere. Alright, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the fabric that's going to be on the bra cup that should sit on the bust. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I need you to measure across the top of the bra cup like so. So here we have roughly 7.5 inches. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line on my paper. Then after I've done this, I'm going to draw a line. Just try to center it as best as you can. Make sure the paper that you're using is a lot bigger than the 7.5 that you need. And then you're going to divide that 7.5 in two, and you're going to place it on this line like so. You mark the beginning of your tape and you're going to mark the 7.5. Okay, then you're going to come down on both sides by 1 inch. So 1 inch here, you're going to come down by 1 inch here as well, and then make a curve from the center out to both of these points. Then you're going to mark 2 inch on this side, come down by 2 inches on this side and 2 inches on this side, and then you're going to connect all these lines together. Then what I want you to do is I want you to come from here and come down to 4.5 inches and make a mark on this point. If you're working with a person that has a bust of up to say 42, here instead of coming down 4.5, I will come down to around 5.5 inches. Okay, that's 42 and up. All right, so then when you're done with that, I need you to come down here by 1 inch. See this? Come down here by 1 inch, and then you come down here by 1 inch as well, and then you connect here to the center of the top. And then the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to come out by ½ inch on both sides over here. So ½ inch here, ½ inch here, and then connect it to the top. Just so you don't mix this up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a circle inside here. So by the time I put all of them back, they should face that way. And I'm going to draw an arrow here and here. Okay, sorry, and here. So these two arrows should be facing themselves at the end of the day, because so that you don't end up mixing the different sides of your of the shapes that you have. So you draw an arrow facing and draw a circle. So by the time you bring the circle together, you know that these two arrows should be facing themselves and that you've not made a mistake. Also, I'm going to cut this out now. Alright, so you've seen what I have done so far. When I'm cutting these patterns on my fabric, you will see this in the next video when I'm transferring everything to the fabric, and then we'll do the sewing as well. Make sure to add ½ inch everywhere around here. So there should be ½ inch everywhere around, ½ inch everywhere around on this one, ½ inch everywhere around here, so that by the time you join it back, there'll be enough excess around, because I intend to sew this really neatly. But you'll see me do that in the next video where I'll handle the sewing part of this corset top. But yeah, this is the video on how to draft it. I will see you guys in the next video where we sew it together. If you've watched this far, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.